Welcome back to the Big Rig Hustler channel. Today's video, we are picking up in Cadiz, Kentucky, going up to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. The load's paying $1,400 for the line haul. For the fuel, it's paying $200. As you can tell, I just ended my one video where I delivered aluminum to the GM plant up in Indiana, and then you saw them loading the load I have now on my trailer. I wanted to split both videos up. That way it's not a long video. But I am about to start getting rolling. I'll show some footage. The footage that I shot earlier when I was strapping the load down. But yeah, I'm about to get rolling now. But stay tuned. I am currently in Cadiz, Kentucky. That's how you pronounce it. Getting my load strapped down, and I'll be on my way to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, for tomorrow delivery. That should end this pay period. More likely I won't get a reload and then deliver it all before 2 o'clock tomorrow. This is one of my favorite loads to get, just because it's a simple strap and go. It's like one of the easiest ones that you can get. So this is paying $14 for the line haul, another $200 for the fuel. That puts me at over $5,000 and some for the week. So I should see somewhere over $2,000 bring home. And then I have my business bank account set up to where they'll deduct taxes and put everything into folders. Folders is like different. Like I have one set up for load securement, so it takes like 10% of each load for each time I get paid, and then it pays me. Well, it takes 10%, puts it in a folder for load securement. The way I know how much I have for load securement. And then but the bank I use, it's called Found. I like it a lot. I can pay myself from it. It also has something like a QuickBooks integrated in with it. I can also get business loans from it through other sources. They're not tied to them, but they're partnered with. Obviously, like right now, I don't need a business loan. I don't want to go in debt before I start making serious money, especially it being my first year in business. But they have this thing to where it has like pockets, and pockets are pretty much like different folders to put money in, to stash money in. One is like the one I have set up is for taxes. I have 25% going in there. And then in another folder, I have owner's pay. That's what I take out to pay myself. And then I have another folder for savings, which is what I'm using to save up to buy my first truck, because I don't plan on buying the truck that I'm leasing. That's just personal thing that I'm deciding to do. Then there's another folder for like load securement I set up. So like I have 10% of each load going into that. That way, when it's time, get new load securement. And as you can tell, I have different colored straps, and that's just because the yellow ones, the darker yellow ones, are the straps that I got from when I got my trailer, and then the bright yellow ones are ones I had to pick up at the truck stop, just because like I needed new straps, like for a load. But I've been buying red and blue straps. I got like 2 blue ones and then like 8 or so red ones. So I'm trying to do like a red and blue thing. And then I've also used it to buy myself some new tarps, a coil bag because I do haul a lot of coils. And then I'm looking at probably going to a manufacturer to pick up pretty much the same exact load binders that you can get at IT Products. But I'm going to look into them. I might order a sample one just to see if it's the same exact one that I see at IT Products. Because if it is, I'll just go through them because I can get like 10 of them for $14 a piece compared to IT Products selling them for $40, $50 a piece, which gets to be expensive. There are a lot of ladybugs where I'm at. I haven't had to deal with this many ladybugs since high school. My freshman year in high school when I lived out in the country with my aunt, and because I grew up in foster care, and I lived with her for about a year. I got fed up and told my caseworker that I needed to get out of there because of all the shit that was going on. And it was just bad blood between my aunt and my father. And it was ridiculous that the way they was treating us. But that's a whole different story. A whole different time. But yeah, as soon as I secure this down, I will be making my way up to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. And then I'm going to try to find a reload for tomorrow. But I do need to get my trailer in for PM. Ah, dang ladybugs. Felt like it bit me. So I am about to put 10 catch protectors because I don't want to ruin my new straps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would like to get custom straps and tarps that has my business name on them, just because I have ran into people stealing shit off my trailer. Excuse my language. They stole 2 steel tarps, which is why like I keep my coil bag locked up in my toolbox on my trailer. And then pretty soon I'm gonna be building like this lumber rack, like not an actual rack, but like a barricade that goes right where my chains are, my dunnage. That way I can put my 4-footers behind it and have more room in my one toolbox. And then my other toolbox I already went through and reorganized it and used milk crates. I only need about 20 total. Milk crates are perfect to have. Like I keep spare straps in one, my of other types of straps in the other ones, the ratchet ones. And then I have my moving blankets on top. If you're just getting into flatbed and you haul a lot of steel, I definitely recommend that you pick up some moving blankets because they will protect your tarps. This is the load that I'm taking down. I will be moving the tandems into a spread axle, but I'll do that later down the road. And then the wall thing that I was talking about, I'm gonna put right there. It'll go like here, be about this high. Then it'll have a divot in it so you can see the chains, and then it'll go back up on the other side. That way I can put my 4x4s behind there and some other stuff. And then got my pipe stakes down there. Thing about taking them off and pretty much putting like some type of coating on them. That way they last a whole lot longer. Because those are not cheap, even though I got those ones for free. I really don't want to buy them. But like if I'm in Colorado, you need like pipe stakes. Just because that's like the only thing that I saw out there when I was out that way. Near Greeley. But when I said about the ladybugs, look at all these ladybugs. Ridiculous. Ah, oh, it got me right in the ear. Crazy. Alright guys, I am at my delivery up in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. It brought me to a racetrack, which is pretty cool. I don't know what they're doing with the crane mats, but pretty cool that it's coming to a racetrack. This load paid me $14 for the line haul, $200 for the fuel. And then my next pickup, which will go on next week's pay, is going to pay me $2,600 and some. And that is picking up in Portage, Indiana. And then that is going down to, I believe, Maxton, North Carolina. I can definitely get a reload not far from there. If I really want to grab a really good load, I might just head down to Huger, South Carolina, pick up either steel beams or a coil, or just a random coil load. But that's what the game plan is for the rest of this week. I'm still finding ladybugs everywhere. It took me probably all night to get them completely out of my truck, which makes me hate ladybugs now, because it was like the orange ones, and I heard the orange ones bites, and I was feeling like something was biting me all night. But I'm currently winding up the straps, and then I should be the next one that gets unloaded. Because this is like whoever gets the straps done and ready to go first gets unloaded first, or whoever's here first. It depends on the receiver. But I don't mind these loads. Some of them pay decent. Some of them are just loads that I take just to get me to a better area. This one was a load that it paid okay. It was next day delivery, and I wanted to finish the week off grossing over 5K. If I would have took like another short load that didn't pay well, I probably wouldn't have grossed as much. And then the way I see it is, the way the numbers works is if you gross 4,000, you should be bringing home about 1,000. If you gross 5,000, you should be bringing home 2,000. I've seen it where I had a breakdown where I had a coolant clamp come undone, it like snapped off, and I had to go sit over in North Dakota. It's like western North Dakota, and I still grossed over 7,000 that week, and I brought home. It was about 36 something, even though I sat a day and then I deadheaded about 10 hours to Minnesota to pick up a load that took me down south. So it just depends on how you work your week. I've been asked, what are the loads like or have been like? It just truly depends on where you're at. If you're in the West, you're pretty much not going to see good paying loads. But if you're like in the Steel Belt area, like I live in Ohio, and I can usually get decent loads coming out of there. Sometimes it's 4 loads that's going to the next state over, and then in return I can grab another steel load not too far from there that pays even better. If you can get down to like Atlanta area or just Georgia in general, you can get good loads out of there. I've noticed you can get good loads out of. Sometimes you can get good loads out of Texas, especially if it's a multi-stop. I picked up a multi-stop. It was metal light posts delivering from just outside Houston. Picking up just outside of Houston, going to, look, no ladybug. It was going to Alabama, and then it was also going to Ohio. They paid $75 an hour for detention. They ended up paying me $375 in detention. And then they ended up canceling that second stop, which would have took me home. But that was on them. They didn't say nothing until I asked about it, about the paperwork, when I was going to go leave. And they ended up paying me for that second stop, which was cool. The agent ended up going to the bat for me. But if you're in Florida, pretty much got to deadhead out of Florida. That's what I usually do. I haven't really seen military loads all that much like it was, but that's just because the military is part of the government. The government is currently shut down, so they're not really shipping much unless they truly have to. But I am about to put these edge protectors away and then pull up so they can get me unloaded. This is how I have my one side box. I have my edge protectors over here, along with some metal ones. My other metal ones are on the other side. My ratchet straps and in this milk crate. My other straps, brand new straps, are in here. And that one, bungees. I have 3 moving blankets. I plan on getting more. I do have a lot of edge protectors. The orange ones are the longer ones. I mainly use those for shingles. This is the racetrack. Right there is the track. There's where I'm heading. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here. I keep finding more ladybugs. I keep feeling like I'm being attacked by them, like they're mad at me for forcibly removing them from my truck. But yeah, it was a pretty cool load, delivering to a racetrack. Hopefully one day I can deliver to an actual like NASCAR racetrack, which would be even sweeter. I know my youngest, he's into race cars and NASCAR, and he would get a kick out of it. But I am going to be picking up a load, heading down. It's picking up in Portage, Indiana. It is 2 palletized coils, and then that's going down to Maxton, North Carolina, if that's how you pronounce it. But that load's going to pay me about 26 some before the 25%. So it'll still pay me over 2,000 for the load. That delivers on Friday, and then I'm going to try to grab a reload somewhere nearby and then run that and then get parked for the weekend or get close to it and then do like a 34 if I can. But I am wearing my other company shirt that I made. As you can tell, business logo on the side. It says Flatbed Division. And then on the back side, it is a semi-truck hauling military equipment. And it says we support our troops with every single branch underneath it. I do like messing around with graphics. But I will be probably making a video of the type of equipment that you may need as a flatbedder. I can also tell you what kind of equipment that you could use if you're doing reefer. I do have reefer background. I've been with Rail. Not too long with Rail, though. I didn't like their CDL school. That's my personal opinion. But there are some good things, bad things. I was going to go reefer there. I was a company driver for Mass Trucking out of Ohio. I parked my truck right outside their headquarters. They don't have any problems with it. I even talk to some of them as they pull out and they see me. Good friends with the owner of the company. And now I'm with CRST as a lease operator. But hopefully next year I can go and buy my truck that I want, which is like a Kenworth. Or if I can find a Peterbilt that does not have a PACCAR engine, which I know a lot of them do, but I have seen some in this thing that I keep looking at for like deals and stuff. It is the Truck Paper. I do have the app, but I'm gonna get rolling if you maybe let my dog out before I get rolling, because it seems like he's getting anxious. But if you like this video, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, stay safe, especially now that it's starting to get colder and the snow is just around the corner. But peace.